Boulder Canyon Project Act of 1928, an act to provide for the construction of works for the protection and development of the Colorado River Basin, for the approval of the Colorado River Compact, and for other purposes. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that, for the purpose of controlling the floods, improving navigation, and regulating the flow of the Colorado River, providing for storage, and for the delivery of the stored waters thereof, for reclamation of public lands, and other beneficial uses exclusively within the United States, and for the generation of electrical energy, as a means of making the project herein authorized a self-supporting and financially solvent undertaking. The Secretary of the Interior, subject to the terms of the Colorado River Compact hereinafter mentioned, is hereby authorized to construct, operate, and maintain a dam and incidental works in the mainstream of the Colorado River at Black Canyon or Boulder Canyon adequate to create a storage reservoir of a capacity of not less than 20 million acre-feet of water, and a main canal and appurtenant structures located entirely within the United States connecting the Laguna Dam or other suitable diversion dam, which the Secretary of the Interior is hereby authorized to construct if deemed necessary or advisable by him upon engineering or economic considerations, with the Imperial and Coachella Valleys in California, the expenditures for said main canal and appurtenant structures, to be reimbursable, as provided in the reclamation law, and shall not be paid out of revenues derived from the sale or disposal of water power or electric energy at the dam authorized to be constructed at said Black Canyon or Boulder Canyon, or for water for potable purposes outside of the Imperial and Coachella Valleys, provided, however, that no charge shall be made for water, or for the use, storage, or delivery of water for irrigation or water for potable purposes in the Imperial or Coachella Valleys, also to construct and equip, operate, and maintain at or near said dam, or cause to be constructed, a complete plant and incidental structures suitable for the fullest economic development of electrical energy from the water discharged from said reservoir, and to acquire by proceedings in eminent domain, or otherwise all lands, rights of way, and other property necessary for said purposes. Section 2A. There is hereby established a special fund, to be known as the Colorado River Dam Fund, hereinafter referred to as the fund, and to be available, as hereafter provided, only for carrying out the provisions of this act. All revenues received in carrying out the provisions of this act shall be paid into and expenditures shall be made out of the fund, under the direction of the Secretary of the Interior. B. The Secretary of the Treasury is authorized to advance to the fund, from time to time, and within the appropriations therefor, such amounts as the Secretary of the Interior deems necessary for carrying out the provisions of this act, except that the aggregate amount of such advances shall not exceed the sum of $165 million. Of this amount, the sum of $25 million shall be allocated to flood control, and shall be repaid to the United States out of 62.5% of revenues, if any, in excess of the amount necessary to meet periodical payments during the period of amortization, as provided in Section 4 of this Act. If said sum of $25 million is not repaid in full during the period of amortization, then 62.5% of all net revenues shall be applied to payment of the remainder. Interest at the rate of 4% per annum accruing during the year upon the amount so advanced, and remaining unpaid shall be paid annually out of the fund, except as herein otherwise provided. C. Monies in the fund advanced under subdivision B shall be available only for expenditures for construction, and the payment of interest, during construction, upon the amount so advanced. No expenditures out of the fund shall be made for operation and maintenance, except from appropriations therefor. D. The Secretary of the Treasury shall charge the fund, as of June 30th in each year, with such amount as may be necessary for the payment of interest on advances made under subdivision B, at the rate of 4% per annum accrued during the year upon the amount so advanced, and remaining unpaid, except that if the fund is insufficient to meet the payment of interest, the Secretary of the Treasury may, in his discretion, defer any part of such payment. and the amount so deferred shall bear interest at the rate of 4% per annum until paid. The Secretary of the Interior shall certify to the Secretary of the Treasury, at the close of each fiscal year, the amount of money in the fund in excess of the amount necessary for construction, operation, and maintenance, and payment of interest. Upon receipt of each such certificate, the Secretary of the Treasury is authorized and directed to charge the fund with the amount so certified as repayment of the advances made under subdivision B, which amount shall be covered into the Treasury to the credit of miscellaneous receipts. Section 3. There is hereby authorized to be appropriated from time to time, out of any money in the Treasury not otherwise appropriated, such sums of money as may be necessary to carry out the purposes of this Act, not exceeding in the aggregate $165 million. Section 4. This Act shall not take effect, and no authority shall be exercised hereunder, and no work shall be begun, and no monies expended on, or in connection with the works or structures provided for in this Act, and no water rights shall be claimed or initiated hereunder, and no steps shall be taken by the United States, or by others to initiate or perfect any claims to the use of water pertinent to such works or structures, unless and until 1. The states of Arizona, California, Colorado, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming shall have ratified the Colorado River Compact, mentioned in Section 13 hereof, and the President, by public proclamation, shall have so declared. Or, 2. If said states fail to ratify the said compact within 6 months from the date of the passage of this Act, then, until 6 of said states, including the state of California, shall ratify said compact, and shall consent to waive the provisions of the first paragraph of Article 11 of said compact, which makes the same binding and obligatory only when approved by each of the 7 states signatory thereto, and shall have approved said compact without conditions, save that of such 6 state approval, and the President, by public proclamation, shall have so declared. And, further, until the state of California, by act of its legislature, shall agree irrevocably and unconditionally with the United States, and for the benefit of the states of Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming, as an express covenant, and in consideration of the passage of this Act, that the aggregate annual consumptive use, diversions less returns, to the river, of water of and from the Colorado River for use in the state of California, including all uses under contracts made under the provisions of this Act, and all water necessary for the supply of any rights which may now exist, shall not exceed 4,400,000 acre-feet of the waters apportioned to the lower basin states by paragraph A of Article 3 of the Colorado River Compact, plus not more than 1/2 of any excess or surplus waters unapportioned by said compact. Such use is always to be subject to the terms of said compact. The states of Arizona, California, and Nevada are authorized to enter into an agreement which shall provide 1. That of the 7,500,000 acre-feet annually apportioned to the lower basin by paragraph A of Article 3 of the Colorado River Compact, there shall be apportioned to the state of Nevada 300,000 acre-feet, and to the state of Arizona 2,800,000 acre-feet for exclusive beneficial consumptive use in perpetuity. And 2. That the state of Arizona may annually use 1/2 of the excess or surplus waters unapportioned by the Colorado River Compact, and 3. That the state of Arizona shall have the exclusive beneficial consumptive use of the Gila River and its tributaries within the boundaries of said state, and 4. That the waters of the Gila River and its tributaries, except return flow, after the same enters the Colorado River, shall never be subject to any diminution whatever by any allowance of water which may be made by treaty or otherwise to the United States of Mexico, but if, as provided in paragraph C of Article 3 of the Colorado River Compact, it shall become necessary to supply water to the United States of Mexico from waters over and above the quantities which are surplus as defined by said compact, then the state of California shall and will mutually agree with the state of Arizona to supply out of the mainstream of the Colorado River, 1/2 of any deficiency which must be supplied to Mexico by the lower basin, and 5. That the state of California shall, and will further mutually agree with the states of Arizona and Nevada, that none of said 3 states shall withhold water, and none shall require the delivery of water, which cannot reasonably be applied to domestic and agricultural uses. And 6. That all of the provisions of said tri-state agreement shall be subject in all particulars to the provisions of the Colorado River Compact, and 7. Said agreement to take effect upon the ratification of the Colorado River Compact by Arizona, California, and Nevada. B. Before any money is appropriated for the construction of said dam or power plant, or any construction work done or contracted for, the Secretary of the Interior shall make provision for revenues by contract, in accordance with the provisions of this act, adequate in his judgment, to ensure payment of all expenses of operation and maintenance of said works incurred by the United States, and the repayment, within 50 years from the date of the completion of said works, of all amounts advanced to the fund under subdivision B of Section 2 for such works, together with interest thereon made reimbursable under this act.